So hold on. Life tips from a blockchain expert.
Yeah.
Welcome to Interchain Me, hosted by Roberto Capodieci, as we bridge the worlds of new and old technologies, meet incredible individuals, and delve into past visions of the future, between technology and life with Roberto Capodieci on Interchain Me. You're now listening to Life Tips.
All right, so are you ready to jump into a deep dive into something pretty exciting?
Always.
Okay, awesome. Well, today we're getting like a behind-the-scenes look at this brand new platform.
Oh, cool.
Called Interchain.me.
Okay.
And it's going to be launching in January 2025. And it's all about exploring how technology and everyday life kind of intersect.
That's really interesting, especially considering that this is the brainchild of Roberto Capodieci.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he's a senior blockchain architect. He's also been a chief blockchain officer.
Wow.
So he's been like really immersed in the world of blockchain and decentralization for over 15 years.
So he's not just like, some tech enthusiast. This guy knows his stuff.
Yeah.
So what is he trying to do with this Interchain.me?
Well, you can think of it as like a digital hub where you can find podcasts, videos, articles, all focused on how technology is shaping the world around us.
Yeah.
But it goes beyond just the technical stuff. Like Roberto wants to showcase how all these technologies can be applied in practical ways to improve our lives.
So it's not just about the what of technology, but also the how and the why.
Exactly.
Do you have an example?
Yeah, so one of the series planned for Interchain.me is called Life Tips.
Okay.
It's about giving short, impactful advice on how to deal with everyday challenges, and it uses insights gleaned from technology and Roberto's own life.
So hold on. Life tips from a blockchain expert.
Yeah.
I'm intrigued, but I need more convincing. What kind of advice are we talking about here?
Well, think about the challenges that we all face in today's world, like information overload, constant connectivity, the pressure to be productive. Roberto's Life Tips series aims to provide practical strategies for managing those challenges and drawing on his understanding of how technology impacts our minds and behaviors.
Okay, that's starting to make a little bit more sense.
Yeah.
Like he's taking his expertise in technology and applying it to the very human challenges that we all face. Yeah. But what makes it different from all the other self-help advice that's out there?
I think what's unique is that Roberto's not just giving out generic advice. He's grounding his tips in real-world experience, both from his own life and also from the world of technology. So it's about bridging that gap between the digital and the human. It's providing actionable advice that you can actually implement in your daily life.
Yeah, I like that. It's not just theoretical, it's practical. So if I'm understanding this correctly, Interchain.me is going to be a platform with a whole bunch of different content.
Yes.
From exploring all the intricacies of blockchain to offering practical life advice, all curated by someone who really knows the tech world.
You got it. And what's even cooler is that Roberto's really encouraging collaboration.
Oh, cool.
And community involvement. He wants Interchain.me to be a space where people can share their own insights, stories, and experiences.
So it's not just a one-way street.
No.
It's about fostering a community of like-minded individuals who are passionate about technology and its impact on our lives. I have to say, this is sounding pretty exciting.
It is, and we've only just touched the surface. Let's dive deeper into some of the specific series planned for Interchain.me, starting with a closer look at life tips.
Okay.
Like, what kind of challenges does Roberto address in this series, and what makes his advice stand out?
That is a great question. And I'm particularly interested in the practical application he draws from blockchain technology. I mean, how does blockchain even relate to everyday life, let alone offer life tips? This is where it gets really interesting for me.
Yeah.
So let's dig in.
Let's go. Yeah, you're right to be curious about that connection between blockchain and life tips.
Yeah.
It might seem like a stretch at first.
Yeah.
But when you think about it, blockchain is all about creating those systems of trust and transparency.
Right.
And those principles can definitely apply to how we approach challenges in our daily lives.
Okay, I'm starting to see the connection a little bit, but can you give me a concrete example of how a blockchain concept could translate into a practical life tip?
Absolutely. So one of the core concepts of blockchain is decentralization.
Right. And it's about distributing that control and decision-making power rather than having it concentrated in one central authority.
Okay, so how does that apply to dealing with stress or improving productivity?
Okay, so imagine applying that decentralization concept to your own life. Instead of trying to control every single aspect of your day, what if you delegated tasks or sought out collaboration?
Yeah.
or just simply accepted that you can't micromanage everything.
Right.
That shift in perspective, that willingness to let go of some control can be incredibly freeing.
Okay.
And it can lead to a less stressful, more productive existence.
Wow, I never thought about it that way. That's a pretty powerful insight, actually. It's like taking this complex technological concept and distilling it down into this simple but profound life lesson.
Exactly. And that's exactly what Roberto is aiming to do with Life Tips. He's taking these abstract concepts from the world of technology and translating them into this relatable, actionable advice that can help us navigate the complexities of modern life. That's really cool. Are there any other examples of how he connects technology to life tips in this series?
Definitely. Another key aspect of blockchain is immutability. You know, the idea that once data is recorded on the blockchain, it can't be altered or tampered with.
Okay.
And Roberto uses this concept to talk about the importance of integrity and sticking to your values. Just like a secure blockchain transaction, your actions and decisions should be consistent with your core principles.
So it's not just about the tech itself, it's about extracting the underlying philosophy and applying it to personal growth.
Yeah.
It's pretty insightful. But let's get back to the Life Tip series. Can you give me a specific example of a tip that Roberto shares and how it's grounded in his experience?
Yeah, sure. One of the tips that he highlights in the series is about managing information overload. And he draws on his experience in the fast-paced world of blockchain where there's a constant influx of new information and developments.
Oh yeah, I can relate to that. It feels like we're constantly being bombarded with news and notifications and updates. It's hard to even know what to focus on.
Exactly. So what Roberto suggests is creating a personal filter for information.
Right.
Just like a blockchain network validates and filters transactions, you need to develop your own system for evaluating the information that comes your way. So ask yourself, is this information relevant to my goals? Is it from a trustworthy source? Does it add value to my life?
That's a great analogy. Instead of just passively consuming everything that's thrown at us, we need to be more discerning about what we allow into our mental space.
Exactly. It's about being mindful and intentional with your information intake. And that's a principle that can apply to so many areas of our lives, not just technology.
So from what we've discussed, Life Tips seems to be like a blend of practical advice, philosophical insights, and personal anecdotes, all viewed through the lens of someone who's deeply immersed in the world of technology.
You got it. It's a unique approach that I think will resonate with a lot of people, especially those who are looking for ways to navigate the challenges and opportunities of our increasingly tech-driven world.
It's like he's saying, hey, I've been in the trenches of this technology revolution, and here's what I've learned along the way. And the fact that he's grounding his advice in his own experiences makes it all the more compelling.
Absolutely. And that authenticity is something that's often missing from self-help and personal development content. It's refreshing to see someone who's not just preaching from a textbook, but sharing real-world wisdom that's been tested and refined through experience.
Yeah, I agree completely. It's like getting advice from a mentor who's not just talking the talk, but walking the walk. Okay, so we've delved into life tips pretty thoroughly, but Interchain.me is going to feature a lot more than just life advice, right?
You're absolutely right. There are several other series in the works that explore different facets of technology and its impact on our lives. And just like with life tips, Roberto is bringing his unique perspective and experience to each one.
Well, I'm all ears. Let's hear what else he's got in store for us.
So there's one called The Future of AI, Decentralized and Human-Centric.
Oh, wow. That sounds pretty intense.
Yeah, it is, but in a good way.
Okay.
You know how everyone's talking about AI these days? Like its potential and its risks and all that?
Right.
Well, Roberto is really diving deep into how we can steer AI development, you know?
Yeah.
In a direction that benefits humanity.
Yeah. I'm all for AI being a force for good. But how does decentralized fit into all of that?
Well, that's the fascinating part. Roberto really believes that by decentralizing AI, meaning not letting it be controlled by just a few big companies,
right,
we can ensure that it's developed ethically and it remains accessible to everyone.
I see. So it's about democratizing AI.
Exactly.
Making sure it serves everybody, not just a select few.
Exactly. And he argues that blockchain technology can actually play a key role in this.
Oh, wow.
Like imagine a future where AI algorithms are transparent and accountable.
Right.
And we can understand how they work and have a say in their development.
That's a future I can definitely get behind.
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting to think that we're not just passively accepting whatever AI comes our way, but we're actively shaping its development.
And that's the kind of critical thinking Roberto wants to encourage with Interchain.me.
Yeah.
You know, he's not just like presenting information, he's sparking conversation and challenging us to envision a better future.
Oh, and speaking of envisioning the future,
Yeah.
what about those other series you mentioned?
Yeah.
I think you said something about past predictions.
Oh yeah, past predictions. Hindsight is 2020.
Yeah, that was the one.
Yeah, this one is all about revisiting predictions made about our current time.
Okay.
Some of them were wildly accurate, and others were hilariously off the mark.
Oh, I bet that's a fun one. I'm always curious to see how people in the past envisioned the future.
It is, and what's really interesting is how Roberto analyzes why some predictions were right on and others totally missed. You know, It makes you think about the forces that shape technological advancement and how unpredictable the future really is.
It's a good reminder that even the most brilliant minds can get it wrong sometimes. But that's part of what makes technology so exciting, right?
Right.
Like the constant evolution, the unexpected breakthroughs, the surprises around every corner.
Absolutely. And speaking of exploring the past, Roberto also has a series called Old Tech, New Lessons.
Ooh, nostalgia time.
Exactly. He goes into the technologies that shaped previous eras, you know, like everything from classic computers to early gaming consoles, and extracts valuable lessons that we can apply to our current technological landscape.
That's such a cool idea. It's like looking back in time to gain insights for moving forward. What I'm really taking away from all this is that Interchain.me is going to be more than just like a tech platform. It's going to be a space for exploration, reflection, and thoughtful conversation.
I totally agree. And what's really exciting is that Roberto is making this a collaborative effort. He's inviting people like you
Oh, wow.
to be a part of the Interchain.me community.
Really? So how can people get involved?
He's put out a call for guests, contributors, and even potential sponsors.
Oh, wow.
So whether you have expertise in a specific area of technology, a fascinating story to share, or you're just passionate about exploring the intersection of tech and life, Roberto wants to hear from you.
That's incredible. So this is a chance for our listeners to not just consume the content,
Yeah.
but actually contribute to the conversation.
Exactly. And that's what makes this so unique.
Yeah.
Roberto is building a platform that's really driven by community and collaboration and a desire to understand and shape the future of technology.
This is seriously making me so excited for January 2025.
Me too.
Oh.
And, you know, going back to those life tips, it makes me wonder, what piece of wisdom have you picked up on your own tech journey?
That's a great question. I think one of the most important things I've learned is to embrace the constant evolution of technology. Don't be afraid to experiment, try new things, and adapt to the ever-changing landscape. After all, that's where all the excitement is. And who knows, maybe that tip will land me a guest spot on Life Tips.
I'd listen to that episode. But seriously, I think that's a really valuable takeaway for anyone navigating the world of technology today. Be curious, be open, and be willing to evolve.
Well said. So as we wrap up our deep dive into Interchain.me, I'm left feeling a sense of anticipation and excitement. It really feels like we've gotten a glimpse into something special, a platform that has the potential to not just inform, but also inspire, to connect, and to empower.
I couldn't agree more. It's a reminder that technology is more than just gadgets and algorithms. You know, it's about people, about stories, about connection, and ultimately about using our collective knowledge and creativity to build a better future. And if you're as intrigued as we are, I encourage you to head over to interchain.me and sign up for updates. You definitely don't want to miss the launch in January 2025.
And who knows, maybe we'll see you there sharing your own life tips with the world. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.
Roberto Capodieci on Interchain Me.